What's up troopers and welcome back to my channel. In this video I will show you how to make a clone trooper phase 1 helmet out of EVA foam. If you are looking for a cheap alternative to 3D printing, you've just come to the right place. The build is quite simple and pretty quick. Here and there are some smaller parts that may be a bit difficult, but it's just perfect for beginners. If you want to rebuild it, my templates are available on my Etsy shop. The link is in the video description. And if you want to support me and help me grow and improve my work, leave a like, follow and a comment. That would help me a lot. So let's get started. First, we start with printing and taping the individual sheets after getting rid of the small brim at the sides. When everything is connected, you will get this big sheet and you can cut out each of the molds. After we have cut everything out, we will start with the dome piece. Trace the mold on the foam using a felt tip pen and then cut along the lines with a sharp box cutter. I will preform the pieces before gluing, so we will get a better shape. Of course, you can use a heat gun for that. After that, put on some contact cement and let it dry for a few minutes so it sticks better and won't open too much. Now simply close the gap along the registration marks and use some paper tape to prevent the seams from opening. Do that with both sides and do the same as before when connecting each sides together. I will first connect the pieces at the front, then at the back and work my way carefully along to the middle. The next piece is a 5mm side strip that goes around the back of the dome piece. Simply glue it even with the inside of the dome piece. Make sure to not stretch the foam, that can cause to make the dome a little bumpy. Now press it well against the dome piece so the gaps will close. And now the dome piece is finished. The next piece is a faceplate that goes at the front right under the dome piece. The face piece ends right where the half circle of the side strip begins. Make sure that the beveled parts and the inside of the strip piece are even with the face piece. This is how it will look like. These are the cheek pieces and simply glue them together like shown. Do that for both sides and glue them under the face piece. For the ear pieces we will need some heat and something to press in the foam. I will use a 5€ piece, anything that's about 20mm in diameter. The ear piece will get a nice inside shaped circle. Now glue on this piece around the ear piece and glue it on the half circles from the 5mm side strip and the face piece. And this is how it looks. These two parts will be glued together like this and we connect it with the earpiece to work our way to the back of the helmet. The top of the piece will be glued right under the 5mm strip. Make sure to glue it on with a little offset as we move further to the back. Do that for the left side as well. The helmet is now getting more and more into shape. Now we can add the 5mm detail piece. There will be a small gap between the detail piece and the ear piece, but we can fix that later. The big side piece will be glued right under the cheek, ear and backside piece. Slowly work your way from the front to the back. The piece will not end exactly in the middle because there will be the detail back piece. Before we attach the triangle pieces, we need to make the detail back piece. It's a combination of 4 different parts that will be connected like shown. I will make small cuts on the 5mm piece to open the foam a little and apply heat so we get nice detail grooves. I connect the pieces and then cut away the sides to get an even surface, and then open the grooves with heat. Glue it right at the back, even with the side pieces. The 16mm piece will of course stick out. These 2 pieces will be the mouth with a 5mm base and a 2mm layer on top where we cut out the circles. Then just glue it on the 5mm foam and cut the mouthpiece out. The mouthpiece will come right under the face, and this is how it looks. This is the chin piece that comes under the mouthpiece, but before gluing we form it into shape with heat. Now simply glue it on. This is the bottom piece that comes right under the rest of the helmet. I mirrored it on this line to prevent unnecessary seams. Work your way carefully to the front. The part at the front will be glued together later. This will be the inserted chin piece, and we will make cuts halfway through the foam to fold and glue it. Make sure to not cut through the foam. We will get this square shaped piece and glue it at the front. Then close the bottom piece too. These triangle detail pieces come at the back, and we will bevel the sides. I will use my rotary tool to smooth out the surface. Then just glue it at the back of the helmet. I also used paper tape to fix it for now. The next thing is this 5mm detail strip at the front. I bevel the sides to not have any gap at the ear pieces. Simply glue it on, and also do this for the back. The next thing we need is the back knob. It's 2 layers of 8mm foam that I expand to 15mm in diameter. Cut halfway through the foam on the lines and open them with heat. This rim has to be beveled so we get this piece. Smooth out the areas with a rotary tool. On the back side of the piece, cut away half of the 8mm foam circle so you can glue it on the back of the helmet. And this is how it looks. The mohawk is just 24mm foam that you have to cut out and use the rotary tool again for the sides when the glue comes on. Then just simply glue it on the marked area. Now add 2 thin stripes of 2mm foam on the left and right. The last thing is the detailed chin piece. It consists of 3 discs of 50mm foam dowel. The one in the middle is twice as thick as the side pieces. I glued it together like this with super glue. Now just cut away a quarter of the piece to glue it on later. It comes right inside the square chin piece, but only after we painted all of the helmet to make it easier. And now the whole helmet is finished, and I'm really happy with how clean it is. It may be that you have to cut away a bit of the bottom piece depending on how big your head is. Now I would recommend to heat seal the helmet and maybe make the dome a bit more round at the seams, because now it's your last chance to do that. To prepare the helmet for painting, I use Liquitex for filling the seams. Just take something on your finger and rub it in the gaps. I do this about 2 or 3 times because Liquitex shrinks a bit while drying. For areas that are not flat and even, I use a small spatula and correct that. After the Liquitex dried, I sand it down with 500 grit sandpaper. Be careful to really sand it down and not rip it from your foam. For the next step I use Mod Podge and cover the whole helmet with a brush. This will give the helmet some extra stability and seal the foam. After letting the Mod Podge dry, now I cut out the visor. With the Mod Podge sealing, the helmet now will keep its form. Also clean out the edges with a rotary tool. I also use a wood burner to burn in the oval details on the side of the helmet. You could also use a rotary tool for that. After we primed the helmet with Mod Podge, I use a filler primer and spray the whole helmet. This will fill some holes and you can detect where the helmet needs more sanding. I spray everything with 2 thick coats. After we let dry everything, we can now clearly see where work still needs to be done. So I use some more Liquitex for filling and then sand it down until I get a smooth surface. Here you can see that in some areas so much sanding was necessary that the foam was visible. But the result is impressive and that may be my cleanest work yet. It took a lot of time, but it was really worth it. The optic now reminds me a bit of a 3D printed helmet. After that I sprayed the helmet with matte white. I want the helmet to look like the classic Battlefront 2 Jet Trooper helmet, so I taped everything and sprayed it in green. The brow, mouthpiece, chin piece, back detail and oval details will be sprayed in black. Then I add some fly screen for the mouthpiece. I painted it in silver to give it a metallic look and glued it in with super glue. And I think that detail looks pretty realistic. The detail piece will also be painted in black and glued in. For the visor I use welding shield and cut it out with a 1 cm brim for the glue. You can either use super glue or contact cement for gluing. After the visor is added, the helmet is now finished. I am more than happy with the result. This is the cleanest helmet I've built so far. The build was not too complicated and with a lot of patience you should not have any problems. So give it a try. The templates for the helmet are available on my Etsy store. Link to that is in the description. So have fun building and see you again with the next project.